When legendary skins come out in the shop, it causes quite a controversy amongst the community, whether it's the new best skin or the new worst skin, or whether it's just a middle of the road skin. And today I thought I would chuck in my 2 cents to the ongoing debate over what is the best legendary skin, what is the worst, and everything in between. So next to me I have a list of all 29 skins, including the new Oblivion skin. There might be a new one before then, but I record this on Monday, so the item store hasn't refreshed yet, so don't hate me if there's a new one I haven't done. But this is just my personal opinion. Now you guys need to understand that before we go into this. This is my personal opinion. I've spoken to like 4 or 5 different people about this, and every single one of them has had something to disagree with on this list, but they've also had something to agree with, like maybe the Moisty Merman being low down. Some people love that skin, some people hate that skin. Valor, for me, quite high up. Some people love it, some people hate it. So I have divided this into tiers, and in the tiers are the ranks, and then each tier, obviously, as you move up, get better and better, okay? So we're going to go from worst to best. The first tier is the trash tier, and there is one skin, and it is the Havoc. I'll put it up on screen. It's the Havoc. That's it. It's just the Havoc, because it's trash. Moving swiftly on to the bad tier, coming in at 28th, we have the Leviathan. I'm not a fan of this skin. Looks kind of weird. Basically just a reskin of one of the astronauts with a super weird alien thing. I did buy it, I refunded it. The alien in the head doesn't look big enough. It looks like a little peanut in a bowl. Doesn't make sense to me, I don't like it. Coming in at 27th is the all new skin, Oblivion. I just don't like this skin. If it was an actual female Omega where you could customize the armor and colors, I wouldn't mind. But it's basically just a black version of Criterion, which is in our 26th spot. Criterion, because for me it just looks a bit trash. 25th is the Moisty Merman. The Moisty Merman for me, when it first came out, I thought was awesome, but upon further inspection I realised it was in fact shit. Moving swiftly on to number 24, we have the Crackshot. Now this is a legend amongst the community. You see one of these nowadays and it frightens you because they're so rare, but I don't like it. I never have. I never will. It just looks like a giant testicle on top of a head. Not gonna lie. Number 23 is the Flytrap. A lot of people like this skin. Not me. Looks weird. Looks like he skips leg day. Massive mohawk thing. Didn't cut the cheese for me. Don't like that. So now we've cut our way through the shit, we're on to the good tier. Now the good tier is where I like the skins. I may not own some of them, but I like them nonetheless, but not enough to buy them. So, 22nd, we have Fate. The skin that Ninja has claimed for himself as his own. I think that's the one. It's either Fate or Omen. I can't remember which one it is. Rex. A lot of people like this skin at 21st. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. Looks a bit funny. Never been a fan of that default look. I like all the ones that look different and new and fresh and original. So I have to put it this far down. Number 20. Cuddle Team Leader. This is going to piss some people off because this skin is the thing of legend. This is one of the best skins in most people's opinion, but for me it sits pretty in 20th because I just don't like it that much. It's a good skin, don't get me wrong, but it's not one of the best. 19th is the new Vertex skin. Now again, this guy looks like he skips leg day. Tiny little scrawny legs. Wasn't a fan of the big robot thing. Wasn't a fan of all the overly tight spandex and all the weird bionics. Didn't really like it. Number 18 is the most hyped skin of all time. It's Raven. I bought Raven and I refunded it because I just didn't really like the look of it. There's something about Raven that I just can't get my head around, that I just dislike. Although it's a good skin and I can appreciate it's a good skin, for me it sits down at 18th. And then coming in at 17th is Triceratops. Again, I'm just not a fan of it. I just don't like the whole dinosaur thing. It's all shiny and spandexy and it just looks... it looks okay, but not great. Good. We're still in the good tier, by the way, so these skins are the good ones. Don't get me wrong. Number 16 is Dark Vanguard. Now, for me, this is just the Dark Voyager female version. It's the black with the orange and the purple lights. The thing that kills this skin for me is the orange. If it was just the black like the Dark Voyager and the lights instead of being orange were pink like it is, I would have copped that so quickly, but the fact that it's black, orange, with purple lights, I just wasn't really a fan of. So coming in at 15th is Wukong, the monkey man himself. Now, for me, this skin was just a bit too over the top. It was a bit too much for me. I didn't really like the look of it. I didn't really like how obvious it was. You know, it was just had the massive legs, the massive head, the huge shoulder plates. I just don't really like how big and puffy it is. Number 14, it's the ultimate try-hard skin, the noob skin. It's the Carbide. You either use this skin unless you either genuinely like it or you've just bought the Battle Pass. Don't lie, that's the truth. Carbide for me, it's just a shit version of Omega. It's just a worse version of Omega. If you're going to use one, use Omega. It's simple as that. And then finishing off the good tier in 13th is the Omen. This is Joe's skin. Joe reps this skin and owns this skin. I personally wouldn't buy it, but it is quite cool. It was the first skin to introduce a cape, which I really, really liked. It's a cool skin, don't get me wrong, but I just personally am not a fan of it. So now we're moving on to the great tier. We're getting into the good stuff. The stuff that I A, own, or B, just genuinely love. I actually own most of these. Now, I'm going to move a little bit over this way so you guys can see the pictures that I put here more clear so you know which ones I'm talking about. So, 12th, we have the Love Ranger. Don't get me wrong, the skin for this, I still don't like the default. I don't particularly like the skin. The thing I like about this motherfucker is the back bling. The back bling that them wings carry, the reputation that they have, is unreal. Me, Joe, Andy, and Fred, if we ever said, dude, there is a John Wick with wings, you know that that guy with wings is going to put a base up in half a second and slap you mercilessly. The wings on this guy is probably the most infamous back bling in the game, and that's exactly why I copped him, because wings are a symbol of fear. You just put fear into the heart of your enemies. Number 11 is probably the most underrated low-key skin ever. It's Power Chord, the little rockstar chick. I personally like this skin. I don't own it because I didn't buy it at the time. I wasn't a fan of it then. But looking back on it, I actually think, wow, it's actually a really, really cool skin. Number 10 is the Battlehound. For me, this is the superior of the Wukong Battlehound fight. Don't at me, Joe. It just is. Battlehound is like a Viking, Celtic, wolf god, and Wukong's just a little, you know, Chinese monkey bitch. So Battlehound takes the cake for me, hence why I bought Battlehound. It's also got that new cool cape that they added that you can put onto other players, which I thought was really, really sick. So now we're into the top 10. We come into our number 9 spot, which is the Omega. The Omega is the tier 100 skin when you get season 4, and it's a good skin, don't get me wrong. This would be in like 20th if it wasn't for the fact that you could change the colours. With the red, I don't like it at all, but with the purple lights or the green lights, it becomes one of the best skins in the game. Joe runs purple, I runs orange quite a bit. It's a sick partner combo. It looks incredible when you have a couple of Omegas all with different colours run around. It looks incredible, but if it wasn't for the lights, this would be a lot lower down. Now, coming in at number 8 is quite a recent skin. It's the Sky Stalker. I have a little bit of a soft spot for this skin because of my love for Battlefield 1. I just really like the way it looks. I like the hair, the original hair on the guy. I like the new shape character model with the coat. I really just like the character in general. The only thing I do have a bit of a nag about is I feel like the back bling is a bit too high up his back. It sits really high. If they could just lower it down a little bit, it might look a bit more proportional, but for now it just looks a little bit silly. Now, number 7 is probably the most controversial one on this list, because when he came out, or when people first got him, everyone hated this skin, basically, and it's the Blockbuster, also known as the Visitor. For me, this is my favourite skin of all time. I've not put my number 1, because I know that there are skins that are, for me, better, but this is my favourite. I love the Blockbuster with all my heart. The Blockbuster, it just looks so good. I like the post-apocalyptic Fallout vibe it kind of carries, with the sort of faded blue armour, and, you know, the sort of tight pants with the make-do sort of boots and the little belt around the waist, sort of hanging down on his hip. I just really like everything about this skin, especially the like HUD on his face and how that's customizable. I really like that. But moving on to number 6, we have the tier 100 skin of season 2, and it's the Black Knight. The Black Knight is the absolute GOAT. He's the OG of fucking tier 100 skins. No John Wick, no Omega, this guy is the OG. And that's what I like about the fact that Black Knight is a tier skin that you can't buy anymore, because you know that if you come up against someone who has Black Knight, they are A, an OG at the game, and B, a tryhard, because getting to level tier 70 in Season 2 was a lot harder than it is now. So yeah, hats off to that. I personally have it. I don't usually run it because I have skins that I just prefer over it, but it is still a fantastic skin. So moving on to Dark Voyager in 5th place. This is the final one of the great tier, and I personally love the Dark Voyager. I like the astronaut vibe, I like the back bling. The back bling I pretty much run on everything. I love the black and orange colour combination. It for me is one of the best looking skins and colour combos in the game. So ladies and gentlemen, after the great tier, the good tier, the bad tier, and the single havoc in the trash tier, we move on to the final tier, which I have called the GOAT tier. The greatest of all time tier. Now, we have a skin from Season 2. We have a skin from Season 1. Oh, no, not Season 1. We have a skin from Season 2, from Season 3, and Season 4 in here. And this is the top 4 skins of all time. So rounding off our top 4 in 4th place is not a skin I own personally, but one that I adore nonetheless. It's the Red Knight. The Red Knight recently came back into the shop, and it is an absolute beauty of a skin. Now, the reason I didn't buy it is because for me, I'm not going to buy a skin unless I start maining it and running it every single game. I'm not going to do that with the Red Knight because there are skins that I like. But I can appreciate the fact that it is an incredible skin. It is an absolute OG skin. I'm pissed off they brought it out again because of the fact of the reputation and the rarity it was. If you saw a Red Knight before they re-released it, you knew that that kid was the shit who bought it back in the day. But now you just see everyone and their nan running with Red Knight, which kind of sucks. But nonetheless, it is a brilliant skin. Now, number 3 is a skin that I see less and less as the season goes on. And for me, this is a controversial one again, it's Valor. Now, at the start of the season, I ended up hating all of the skins. Wait till my camera focuses. There we go. I ended up hating all of the skins. I didn't like any of them at all. I looked through the battle pass and I thought, this is just trash. But Valor for me was one that I just slowly fell in love with over time, and when I unlocked her, I used her every single game. She is just an awesome skin. I love the Wonder Woman vibe. I love how bright and colourful and cool they just look, and the superhero vibe has really, really grown on me. Although I am very excited for next season and what that has to offer, I am still extremely happy with how Season 4 has turned out, considering that I didn't really like it at the start of the season. Now, moving on to number 2, it is the man himself. I'm not even going to call it by his real name. It is John Wick, the Baba Yaga. John Wick, for me, just one of the coolest skins. It was one of the real first times they tested new character models out, and it was just incredible. It just looked so freaking cool. I remember when everyone had Season 3 and they were scrolling through and they were like, oh cool, you got astronauts, you got, oh, another astronaut, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they were like, boom, John Wick, and everyone was like, holy shit, I need to get to tier 100 now. I didn't unlock him till quite late, which kind of sucks because I already have Omega this season. I got him a couple weeks back, but John Wick for me, the reputation he has with the whole super building and just the fact that in the film he's such a badass, that carries over into the game so well. So whenever I see a John Wick, even if I know it's like a try-hard 8-year-old that isn't that good at the game, I still get a little bit scared because of the fact that it is just John Wick. But moving on to number 1. A lot of you may have guessed this. It's the final legendary skin to talk about. And for me, the reason that this is number 1 is just this is the absolute OG, original gangster fucking legendary skin. This is the first skin I ever bought. And you guys have watched my video on it over 1,500 times, I think. And that is the Raptor. The motherfucking Raptor. The OG skin. The Royal Air Force test pilot with his bomber jacket, yellow balaclava. For me, this skin as a legendary will not be beaten. It was the first time they used a different character model and not just the default skin recoated. It was the first time they added something like back bling to the game, unless the Knights were before it, but I don't think they were. I'm annoyed that they re-released this a couple months ago because of the fact that it was such an old school skin that so little people had. I was one of them people. Epic Games, you've taken that away from me now. But Raptor, for me, is just the absolute god skin. It is the absolute OG skin of Fortnite. If you see a Raptor, you know. You either have a funny feeling that it's either an OG player who bought it back in Season 2, I think it was, or they're one of these new turds, these fresh bloods, that bought it a couple of weeks ago. But that is my list. Should we have a quick recap? I think we should. So, the quick recap. Trash tier is Havoc. The bad tier, we have the Leviathan, the Oblivion, the Criterion, the Moisty Merman, the Crackshot, the Flytrap. In the good tier, we have the Fate, the Rex, the Cuddle Team Leader, the Vertex, the Raven, the Triceratops, the Dark Vanguard, the Wukong, the Carbide, the Omen. In the great tier, we have the Love Ranger, the Power Core, the Battlehound, the Omega, the Skystalker, the Blockbuster, the Black Knight, the Dark Voyager. And in the GOAT tier, we have the Red Knight, the Valor, the John Wick, and of course, the Raptor. And that rounds off my legendary list of skins on Fortnite. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, remember to smash the thumbs up just down below. And subscribe if you already haven't, because it is free after all. And I've got some pretty tasty stuff coming out on the channel soon. Again, just remember, this is just an opinion. Please, please don't hate on me. It's just an opinion. If you disagree with me, then don't dislike the video, for the love of Christ, because it will get hundreds. Please just let me know in the comments, and we can just debate it out, you know. We can just talk in the comments like civilized humans over what is better and what is not better. But this, for me, is my list on the legendary skins ranked. I really hope you guys have enjoyed. I've been your boy CeeGee, and until next video, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.